How are you guys?
We're so great.
Good. How are you,
Anna?
I'm good. You know, may or may not have eaten chicken nuggets at 2 a.m. last night, but good otherwise.
Mad chicken nuggets yesterday.
You what?
I had mad chicken nuggets yesterday.
Yes, but we're all getting in the spirit for this interview. We're getting the spirit. So thank you guys so much. I'm recording this, by the way, so just so you guys know. I figured you knew that already, but thank you guys so much for doing this interview. I'm so excited. I can't believe you guys are about to release your first album.
Yo, same here. Yo, thanks for having us, by the way. This is awesome.
Of course, yeah. So, okay, I have the privilege of knowing you guys for a while, but obviously the audience probably might not know you. So can you tell us a little bit about America Part 2 and how you guys started and just your, like, kind of, because you guys have had sort of like a DIY journey, I feel like.
100%.
And we don't cover a lot of that. So if you guys could just kind of tell me about that, that would be great.
Yeah.
Introduce yourselves.
Let's do that.
All right, I'm Sam.
Also known as Semi. I'm Alex. I sing and play guitar.
And I'm Fred, and I am the bass, and yeah, I feel like, I don't know, the best place to start off is like
Back in the Durham, maybe.
Yeah, back in there. I mean, me and Alex met when we were 12, probably like 6th or 7th grade, and we've been playing in bands forever. And you know, once we started getting into like the touring circuit, you know, we ended up like not even. I mean, we knew this was Sam's band at Sam's house, but like back in the day, we had played a show at Sam's house, and like our paths had crossed. So I feel like we had all kind of been present in the music scene, and then fast forward like 2 or 3 years later, like
it was funny actually because I went to a show in Asbury at the Music Foundation, and I went there by myself to see a band, and like I didn't know anybody at the show, and Sam was running the door for the show, and I like kind of knew him just through the scene. I knew his band was sick, and so I was like, "Yo, what's up?" He was like, "What's good?" And he had a dab pen. And so, like, we hung out in the back by the door, like, all night long, just, like, hanging out. The next day, I went over to Fred's, and I was like, yo, that kid Sam in Illusionist is so dope. Like, he's super cool. And we were looking for a drummer at the time, and Fred was like, dude, he's a drummer. We should ask him to jam.
Yo, it was so funny because we were going through a lot of changes, and I think, you know, obviously, like, I was on drums for, like, a minute, and
right.
We kind of were just like trucking along, and we were on like a mission. So I hopped on drums and I was doing vocals, and I remember Sam came to one of our shows and like my bass pedal exploded.
And
like
he was dressed as Abe Lincoln.
See, I don't even remember that. And so I remember specifically, like, I think you like helped me like between a song or some shit, or like you like, I don't know.
I don't remember.
But the bass pedal kept exploding during the set.
You were getting it though.
And so I always remembered, I was like, oh yeah, Sam, all this shit. Yeah. So
and then he joined, and then
we jammed for 15 minutes because
and you knew?
Well,
yeah,
I guess, yeah.
Sam,
what do you got to say?
What do you got to say?
Yeah, I was playing in bands and like playing music since I was like a little kid, starting on violin and stuff, and fucking playing Illusionist for hella long till like 2019. And then first show was like April 2018. Played at Rowan. We showed up, set up immediately, and fucking played.
It's pretty
And
deep.
the rest is history. Now you guys are here.
Yeah, basically.
Can I ask you guys really quickly just to make sure, because I have like a little bit of OCD about this because this has happened before. Can you guys record on your end too? Like just hit the record button just to make sure we have two
Perfect.
of it.
Please ask the host to give you permission to record.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be good.
Okay, cool. One time I did an interview, literally one time, it was like my first interview, and my computer just completely crashed, and I had to ask the artist to do it again, and I was so embarrassed. But this should be fine. Okay, so you guys have been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
And there's 3 of you. So my kind of question is, when there's 3 people, I do a lot of interviews with solo artists, but not as much bands. So when there's 3 personalities, what is your dynamic like? Are you just feeding off each other all the time? Is one person kind of doing one thing, another person's doing another thing, or is it just kind of a collective, you guys are all speaking the same language and it's one idea?
I think the three person dynamic is so unique just because the triangle is like, usually it's like two people are like solid in this and solid in that, and one person's got this like extra thing going on in their brain, and it like kind of rotates the whole thing around.
You could even
keeps
just look at
moving.
it as like a triangle that has three sharp edges. So basically like I could bring a song, Sam could bring a song, Alex could bring a song, but also we're writing stuff right all together, like just in the spur of the moment. And also, you know, I think when we come together, there's, you know, we know if it's like, if we're just like jamming and like we're trying to get something and we're just kind of fooling around, and then we know like if we have like a song, because like you know,
the three of us come together
yeah.
makes this like fourth sound, and that's like the sound of it.
And it's also like the energy, because like all of us like are like have like that loud rock and roll force behind us, so like,
and all different influences too.
So
it
it's
just
even
gets weird.
Absolutely.
like the second that we pull back a little bit and we start playing a little bit lighter, we're like, oh wow, like
We're approaching it from all ways,
yeah,
like playing it lighter, playing it fast, playing it slow, playing it hard.
Alex providing the visual in the back. So you guys really do just, I mean, because this is the other thing, it's so hard because you guys have such a presence when you see your performances live. It's such an experience that I'm sure it's really hard now, because obviously we're not going to shows and doing shows, and that whole aspect is kind of out of it. So how did you guys balance that, making your first album while also having that whole part of your identity as a band just not there anymore? Did it affect you guys?
Honestly, we're pretty lucky because we spent like probably the year prior to the pandemic, like writing and recording the whole record. And then like we were on the road in the spring. So then when everything kind of happened, we were like already shifting gears into like getting to like release the record. And it wasn't until everything happened and everything changed that like we started talking to the record label, and we shifted to like different booking agencies. So honestly, it's been, I think for me at least, it's been like a nice new perspective and a way to look at it, because we had been playing so many shows and we had been touring so much. It honestly like allows us to like because we were trying to put out this record as soon as possible, which could have been like, you know,
Could have been
last year or last summer or something, you know, because we were like getting really, really close. But we started taking like deep breaths just about the whole thing. And it's honestly like so much better because time flies anyway. And hopefully, you know, we will see some live music or whatever like this coming year and stuff. So
yeah, a lot of the art like couldn't have happened otherwise without the time that came along with it.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. But also I want to note before we forget, like during all of this, like when everything got taken away, like we shifted gears back into writing again. So we started writing so much more new music. So that's kind of what we spent doing.
And we also did, you know, the extent that we could, like we did do the drive-in show, and we did like an outdoor show in September that was distanced. And, you know, it was a good way to just touch base in like safe ways that we did this year, you know?
Yeah.
And we practiced as much as we could too, on top of like writing those songs. So we were still jamming all the time.
Yeah. And
so
also,
you're going to be like really ready.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to like drop the record. So, you know, we did, you know, the I Don't Want a music video. We did some other cool things for the record, and a lot of stuff that hasn't been released yet. So we've been keeping ourselves busy, just doing fun stuff, you know, for ourselves.
It sounds like you guys are living a pretty good life over there in quarantine, honestly. Doesn't sound that much of a drag.
Outside, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting into the I Don't Want a music video, tell me about that, because those visuals are like crazy, like not crazy, but they're awesome. Like there's a lot of visual that goes into what you guys are putting out. So kind of that aspect of it is really interesting. What was that like making that?
Well, it was crazy. I mean, I think it was something that came together fairly last minute too, which was unique about it. And we wanted to re-release I Don't Wanna in a way that was like new and different, and we could bring something fresh to the people who already know the song.
Because the remaster was already coming out.
Right.
So.
Exactly.
Right.
already did a music video in the past for it. So then we just shifted and did a whole live music video if people don't know. But also, like, I just wanted to add to this, like, we've been watching like so much different stuff. Like, we watched all different types of music videos and getting inspired. Like, we got inspired from Black Sabbath music videos, and then we were watching Action Bronson with friends, watching.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
The green screen is like very much like it's this.
Yeah, we were just like we want to do something where like it's our take, a new take on the song that we can show that we can play live, especially because shows aren't happening, and like do something fresh. And
talk about the barn.
Ben came with us, and Ben Lieber and Chris Kunachuk came together. It was like two worlds collide of videography.
Yeah, they
mastery.
met for the first time, and Doug too.
And Doug Gallo, of course. Like
we did the live sound.
It was like a dream team, and we pulled it together. Yep, and Emily Zimmerman, and so I don't know. It came out really nice.
Yeah, we were staying in an Airbnb for a month. I'm sure you're aware of the barn by now.
I've seen many pictures.
Shout out to the Yonder Barn and those who housed us for a month. We really got to like explore and write and got to explore Monticello, New York, and it was really beautiful. And honestly, they're the ones that like let us use the facility and like the green screen and stuff. So it was without like so many things came together within like less than a month. Probably it was
just all fell into place.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you can tell because it all makes a lot of sense. I was having this conversation with someone who works at a label the other day, just sometimes how visuals don't make sense with the song and they can be kind of disappointing, and how it's really hard to kind of find that dynamic where you're saying what you need to say, but you're also saying it in a way that's like consumable and people really get it. And you guys obviously did that, which is super cool. And there's a lot of art. This is very arty. Like visual arts.
Yes.
I feel like it's not just like your normal, like we're posing for a photo shoot, put it on a t-shirt or get on a CD and go.
I mean, we've all been playing music for so long. We've all been there, done that. We're just trying to make something authentic and real and fucking raw and turn people upside down, make them question their fucking selves.
Yeah, we're trying to have fun. I feel like everyone's trying so hard to, do whatever they're trying to do. But I mean, I think you just have to have fun and just, bring your friends together. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel very communal. I mean, I miss going to shows just even like at Brighton Bar, like where you feel like you're just hanging out with people and then like your friends are on stage and you're drinking a beer or a shot, you know what I mean? And I think that this is going to bring people together, but it's also going to shock people because there's not a lot of people that sound like you guys, I feel, in the market right now. And you recently signed with a label, correct?
Mm-hmm. Revival Recordings.
So do you feel like being signed to a label, does that affect your kind of brand that you've been cultivating this whole time? Does it change anything for you guys?
Mm-hmm.
No, they're Revival's a very fairly new label. They've been around for like 7 or 8 years now, I believe. And they have been nothing but outstanding and have just like helped us like along the way. And the relationship is very, very new still. But everything, they are stoked on all of that. And they actually want to extremely embrace like what we're doing and help us even more try to just like do what we're doing like our way. Cause I think what we're all aware of and our whole team is aware of is like we know what we want to see, hear, and do and stuff. And it's just like, it's always been a matter of like money or where we live and all these certain, and it's nice to make plans for stuff because it really doesn't change much. It almost allows us to prepare for the future because then the future is going to be really good because, we got to take like smart steps and we got to work hard. Now it's time to work.
Yeah, it's like as a DIY band, it's like you could put everything you have into one record, and if the record doesn't do as well as you want it to, you could be out. It could be hard for you to make another record for years just because it takes so much time and money and effort and whatever. So having them behind us for the recording aspect is really nice because it almost tells us like, all right, we're locked in. We can do this for a couple records and see what happens.
There's more structure probably to it than just kind of. Oh, hang on. When people FaceTime you, it's like, can't you text me first and ask? You know what I mean? Like, who just out of the blue FaceTime someone. I'm not down with that. So also something I want to touch on is the New Jersey music scene. I feel like people don't think of New Jersey. I mean, I guess they think of Bruce Springsteen and that sort of thing, but
Stone Pony.
yeah. But there is really such a scene here, and people are really helping each other grow in a way that I don't think I see a lot in New York. I've seen it a lot in London, where it's like bigger bands helping out smaller bands, and everyone's like, there's no competition. Everyone's working together and trying to promote each other's shit, which is like, is what ends up making everything so successful. Like, what could you tell us about the New Jersey music scene? Because I think that it's a little bit overlooked. Because we're so close to the city. So people are like, oh, why don't you just go to the city?
Sure.
I could say right off the bat, it's so hard, especially if you're starting out. And it doesn't matter like how old, like just starting out like a new band or whatever, any type of project, it's so hard to get out of New Jersey and play outside. And like it's so hard to play outside of like, your surrounding towns and stuff. And I think the only way is talking to like people that you're around, because for us, that was the only way that we got out and touring, was just like working with other bands and stuff like that. So, and now, it's kind of, it's on kind of halt, but I feel like everyone that we've been like talking to, and all the bands that we hang out with and artists and stuff, they're just creating and stuff right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because the DIY scene predicates on shows. Like that's like the thing.
Right.
That's what we can do just for fun, for free anywhere. You know what I mean? And so like without that, the scene has been, it's been like you almost have to try harder just to stay in contact with everyone to make sure the scene is still alive and breathing. You know what I mean? It's luckily it is. So, Jersey's a special place for some reason or another. I'm not sure why, but
it's always changing too. But it's like always pretty similar though. Like always the same things going on, but it's crazy just seeing like different like generations kind of.
Yeah, because it's all like the same handful of places, but then things will pop up. Like things will pop up in New Brunswick, and things will pop up in Asbury, or like in South Jersey near like Hamilton or Trenton near TCNJ, or even near Rowan down in Glassboro.
Yeah, all the colleges for sure.
And then up in North Jersey, there's like their own little scene going on there, like that kind of like borders New York and stuff. It's just kind of, New Jersey is like a passage state, right? There's like two main roads that is just like everyone on the planet is just driving past, and we just live off these two main roads. So it's like
right.
That's kind of what the state plays. But yeah, it allows us to like, when we do play like a New York show, like it's awesome. Like we bring out like our friends and stuff and people. Yeah, it is an event,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been to, how long ago was that? I feel like that was 3 years ago when you guys played, was it Bowery Electric and I was there? That was literally so long ago.
That was one, maybe.
That might have been.
I think that was our first one, yeah.
That was my first time.
Oh, really?
Manhattan, for sure.
Whoa. That show was so, remember I went with my mom and she was like, those boys are so good. And I was like, I know. And you guys, so America Part 2, obviously, we hear your name. It obviously has a not political connotation to it, but there's definitely like a vibe going on with your name and the album name Price of a Nation. I talked to Alex a little bit about this, the timing of this record coming out and what's going on right now. Do you guys feel like you are rooted a little bit politically and like you're trying to like be a voice for people who don't really have one right now, or make people pay attention to the things that are going on? Does that have anything to do with your process?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
It's like political, but it's not in the sense of like one side or the other, like red or blue or whatever, which is what everyone thinks of immediately anytime you say the word politics or any of that. Right. It's like, yeah, I guess like humanity, like sort of politics, just like being like, just trying to fix
politics should play a role in everyone's life to some sort of degree, whether it's large or small. But like us, we're going to talk about like our lives, and our music is going to represent what we see. So everything that you're hearing on the record was recorded before the pandemic and finished before the pandemic. So the only thing that was named probably, or the only thing that happened after after was naming it, which was Price of a Nation, which came together. Like we knew we were throwing around some names for the record, but it really came together because we were just trying to like describe what we were saying. But it's just, I felt like, you know, especially like in our music, we're just so tired of like it's the struggle of every band playing smaller shows, trying to like work your way through for like 10 years and try and figure out, and like touring and then eating crap while you're on the road, and like, you know, for years.
Right.
So we're like not content with what's going on like everyone else. And I think that is kind of what might shine through, because like we are noting a lot of those things. But yeah, it's just basic, like Sam said, like about humanity.
At the end of the day, like, dude, like we're writing about just what our experience is, and we live in like a highly politicized time, so it's just baked in right now.
Totally.
I mean, and you know, the overall thing is that we're just speaking, you know, from the heart about things that are just basic interests. You know, we're talking about just like, you know, equality for people, you know, everyone deserves a fair chance, and
living in the trees.
Earth. And it's silly that everyone just ignores the basic facts of humanity and just lets things go by like a fucking conveyor belt.
Obsession with technology, obsession with war, all of it.
And a bunch of the new stuff that's going to be like coming out whenever that was like written right now is like even more so, like just seeing more of what's going on throughout this whole
We're just telling it how
pandemic.
it is, putting a little mirror in front just so you know.
We're trying to have fun. We're trying to make people dance too. I think that's the most important thing. Is that, like, the reaction from kids in the scene is different everywhere. Like we played a barn in Iowa and every single fucking kid was jumping up and down, losing it. And then in between songs, it was silent because there was nothing that needed to be said. But then you play New York City and everyone's like, Ross. Or
oh my God, judgy as hell. Yeah.
New York City. No, anyway. You know, people need to dance. People need to break their own legs.
Break your own goddamn leg, okay? But you're saying like a mirror, is the mirror what the part 2 is? Is that America part 2?
No,
this other version?
The 2 is actually just the fact that the 1 has been what's existed thus far. The 2 is mental. The 2 is all of us. The 2 is every single one of us who's living in 1 and thinking this could be better. That's the 2.
Right.
Also, like just a fun fact, like the name America Part 2 completely is like came from an unpoliticized place. Right. It was actually, I was writing a song, and when I made the voice memo for this song, it was just America Demo. And then I branched off right into another idea, which ended up becoming America Part 2. But it was just, it was like the second half of that song. And I just labeled it as America Part 2. I didn't have like, and so the came that, and then lyrics came. And so basically the name stuck with it. And it took a couple months for us, even like we were like, when the band was just forming, I think it's like 2017 and stuff, we had like a list of names, and we were just trying to just like think just about things. And like you said it, and you were like, dude, like, oh my God.
No, it
like,
was Jake actually, because he said it to both of us.
It was not me. So.
It was Jake.
So humble, friend.
It wasn't me either.
It just literally was like an accident. It was never actually like had that connotation. But it's great because like Alex said, like that's how like he perceives it, and like we want to perceive it like that. We want to perceive it as like a musical community, you know, bring people together and just think differently.
I love that. But you're not forcing it on anyone, which I really like. It's just kind of like an ethos that your band has that you kind of get when you listen to the music, or even just talk to you guys. Like if you ever meet any one of you guys, I feel like you would kind of get that vibe. So, I mean, obviously I ask this question, I feel so stupid usually when I ask it, because it's like everyone's like, oh, we want live shows to come back in 2021. But like, what is your aspirations for 2021? And what is even your aspirations for this album release? Like, what is the best thing that could come out of it for you guys?
Wow. I think the best thing that could come out of it is just people showing it to each other and people listening, because I think that's the best thing that you could do to any artist, is just to listen to their music if you like it. Just keep listening to it, because that's you want to know how to support someone. It's like buying merch and it's listening to their music. But I think we got big aspirations for this year. I know there's like some secretive things that we haven't done or talked about yet, but
Ooh.
it'll be good. I mean, I think overall, like, I just want the record to connect to people in a way that, you know, is meaningful and can help them find joy in their life.
Yeah. Yeah, for the band, like everything these boys just summed up pretty much. But definitely, like, personally, we definitely have a lot of, you know, fucking physical goals and shit, and like start building shit.
Some things we could say,
start
though.
Planting peppers.
Tell me.
All right, we're building, you can go to the website, hotelresistance.com, and it's our public forum where you can send in with an alias whatever you want to say, and we like will print it like in our newspaper, so it's like you could talk about whatever you want to talk about. And we're going to try and do some more stuff off of that website and be more interactive with like people that just want to be in the community, and then having possibly more like live stuff,
Yeah.
and like playing, you know, in a live environment and streaming it and stuff. But we have to still put
Live
that together.
set.
Yep.
And you guys have a really good creative team behind you. I feel like if anyone could pretty much pull that off, it would be you guys. Like, and make it a thing, not just like three guys like sitting there on Instagram Live, like, "Hey, we're gonna play a song."
Yeah.
Well, you guys, I'm so excited for you, and thank you for doing this interview. And I am so excited for the album. Like,
Fuck yeah.
Thanks, Anna.
I wish I could like celebrate with you guys, you know, like pop champagne or something like that when it comes out. But
Let's fucking
Like last New Year's.
Yes. Nah,
oh my god.
yeah.
Set it up.
Once it's either all over, or we'll figure out something.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, best of luck. I mean, I'm gonna be like blowing your shit up every single day until this comes out, obviously. And I like hope that everything just turns out perfect. And thank you for bringing everyone music that actually has a meaning and has like an inspiration behind it, because I think right now it's really hard to feel so inspirationless. I know I feel it all the time, and like to know that there are people out there who are still like chugging along and like really doing it. Like, I know for me that helps me a lot, and I'm sure you're helping a lot of other people too.
Well, thank you, Anna.
so
That
much.
means a lot, and we really appreciate it, because we are just like everyone else. We're all in the same boat, so like we're experiencing together, and so we're gonna make this out alive. So straight up,
That's it.
that's what it's all
Stay
about.
inside, wear your mask, get the vaccine.
Yes.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much again. Bye.